Welcome to Separate Bathrooms. I'm Daddo.
I'm Daddo.
And we're on holidays. It's summer.
It is summer. And we're going to be taking just a little break from the podcast, but we're leaving you guys with something really special today.
What's your favourite thing in life? What's your favourite thing? You've often said this to me.
Oh, love stories.
Yeah, or love, right?
Love. I love love. I love love stories. I love hearing about love. Yeah, I do. It's my favourite thing.
Yes, and over the last 12 months or so, we have talked to some amazing couples who have given us some incredible stories.
Yeah.
Their love stories in particular.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get started with this great story from Narelda Jacobs and Stevie Cruz-Martin.
Listen, we're so glad to have the both of you in here, and it's a love story that I just think needs to be told. So tell us, how did the two of you meet?
Well, this is a story that Stevie tells exceptionally well, so I'm going to let her tell it.
That's high level.
I'll start it off. We were both out on, it's just a random Friday night. We were both out with our respective friends. I'd just been to an art exhibition. A friend, photographer friend, had an exhibition, and so I just had gone from that, and we kicked on to a bar. And so I go up to the bar to order a drink. And
yes, I must preface this with there was a lot of drinks. I was slightly intoxicated, and I walked into a bar, and I did see Jacobs, and I knew who she was. And I went up to the bar and, stood beside her, ordered my drink, and, we shared a look, or I thought we shared a look. And then, I went back out to my friends and I said, oh, my God, Narelda Jacobs is in the bar. And one of my friends said, Stevie, do not go there. She's been in a long-term relationship. And I was like, yep, okay, leaving it. And a couple hours later, and I was in the bathroom. I was going into the bathroom. She was coming out, and there was a look, and I thought to myself, there's no way that this woman is with someone. And I was far too cocky and confident. I thought, I'm going to wait outside. And I waited until she came out, and then she stood in front of me. And we must have just stood in front of each other, just looking at each other for some time. And I said, will you have a drink with me? And she said, yes. And then I said, well, you're going to have to find me first. And then I just ran out of the bar. I just ran. I just ran because I thought I'd have to make some sort of big, gesture. And then Jacob said she spent the next 20 minutes in a very busy bar going around looking for me, shaking people's heads. Are you her? Are you her? And then finally we found each other.
Yeah.
Where did you go? Where did you go, Stevie? Where did you run to?
There's an outdoor area at this place, Pika Bar in Perth, and there's an outdoor area, but it's quite dark out there. And so I was just left standing going, oh, my God, who is that? And then I went back to my friends and I was like, I just met someone. It's really amazing. I've got to go and find her, because that's what she said. And so I literally went around in the dark, and because I had had a few drinks as well, I needed to get quite close to people.
Oh, God.
And then I eventually found Stevie, and that was pretty much it, actually. Yeah, we really, that was it.
So you had the drink and that was it? You kind of went, all right, let's swap numbers, and away you went from there?
Oh, no. I asked her if she wanted to go for a walk, and so we went for a walk around sort of the streets of Northbridge and Perth, and then, yes, we kind of were quite inseparable from then.
That's beautiful. Now, a beautiful moment from Ewan, Blyth and Sophie Ballagh. We really want to get to know you guys a little bit more. Can you just explain to us how you guys met and what's the story?
Well, just your usual love story.
Do tell.
Met on a Russian ship in Antarctica?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, as you do.
Yeah.
Where was it Russian to? Bucket of fish.
We both had the opportunity, we both got offered the opportunity to work in Antarctica as expedition guides. Funnily enough, in the same season, we both went down independently from each other, didn't know each other existed, and we ended up on the same ship, bobbing around in Antarctica, Russian ship, and we ended up being co-guides.
So you were taking people out onto ice from the Russian ship? Is that what you were both touring, taking people on tours?
Yep. We were a part of an expedition team on board this small expedition vessel. Our predominant role was to lead the sea kayak program. So whenever we could, we would take a small group out kayaking amongst icebergs and penguins and whales.
Yeah.
And whatever else kind of was going on that day, driving boats, leading little hikes.
But yeah, paying tourists. It's a kind of a
Was past tense.
Past tense.
Yeah, currently.
Pretty booming part of the tourism,
Yeah.
expedition and adventure tourism market. Was travel to Antarctica.
How long was that time on that boat?
Each trip varies between 10 to 20 odd days long, depending on the itinerary of the voyage. And we as staff would have our contracts for the season, and sometimes we'd work as much as 4 or even 5 months, but sometimes as little as 2 or 3 months. And you're on. It's game on. You get on the ship and there's not a waking hour that you're not at work. So
that's what it was. It was several months on board this Russian vessel.
yeah, you get to know each other pretty well.
Yeah. That's pretty intimate, pretty quick, isn't it?
Very, very quickly.
And then actually we moved in and shared a cabin fairly early on in our relationship before I guess it was even deemed a relationship.
Right.
I guess maybe we can thank our lucky stars. There was an uneven number of male to female staff, and they normally, pair us up. There's two per cabin on this vessel. And so the hotel manager said, well, how about we just put you together? That would be easier, right? And we didn't quite.
We thought no one knew about our relationship.
No one knew. It was very early.
Oh, how sweet.
I didn't even know.
And so from then on, we're pretty much living in a cubicle, like
a bathroom.
Smaller than a bathroom, smaller than our current bathroom, pretty much.
Wow.
And we spent the first few months of our relationship in this matchbox and working and living and
in a pretty extreme environment, obviously, and a pretty very dynamic kind of working relationship, working kind of environment.
Gosh, talk about trial by fire. Imagine just putting any regular boyfriend and girlfriend or boyfriend, girlfriend inside a metal box on a Russian ship and go, okay, now get along.
Yeah.
And a great love story from Eddie Perfect and Lucy Cochran. How about you guys? How did you two meet?
We met on the dance floor of Revolver nightclub on Chapel Street in Paran at about, 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning.
7 a.m.? So you'd been there all night?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, no, we've been other places.
Okay.
It's one of those places that kind of kicks off, you go out to other places and then it's like Sunday morning it had a really great DJ. So it's sort of a bit of a Melbourne institution, like dirty couches everywhere, like really dirty house music. And I met Lucy on the dance floor in front of the DJ booth, which was made out of the bumper bar of like a truck or something.
Yeah,
very
DJ
weird,
booths.
very rugged and Melbourne and cool. And that's how we. And then she gave me her business card, and we courted via email essentially. So we wrote each other, heavily constructed emails that were made to appear like they were just throwaway little. Things.
Effortlessly cool, but without spending 3 hours.
Just something I threw together.
Yeah.
Emails are good, or letters are good, because you can actually sit down and think about what you want to write and how you want to come across. Yeah,
that's it. That's it. It was very.
It was lovely because Eddie and I we like ideas and language, and so it was a really nice way to court because he was on tour, so that's why we were only emailing. It was a lovely, exciting way to kind of get together. It was pretty nerve-wracking the first time we actually hung out, but...
Yeah, it was weird, but...
Lucky it all worked out.
Yeah, it all worked out. And we've been together for about 12 years and... Longer than that.
We've got a 12-year-old.
We've got a 12-year-old.
Must be like 15 years or something.
We got married in 2011.
Yeah.
Now, what was the part of that story when you guys met that Lucy, you were standing up to some drunk dude, and that is that any truth to that story?
Yes, there was.
And Eddie was really impressed and went, "Look at this girl go."
Yeah, he was scary in hindsight. He was just like a really drunk guy on the dance floor, really big, and he because I'm short, and he just knocked me like out of the way and I went flying. And I just stood up to him and said, like, hey, and pulled him back and said, that's really rude. And then he got quite aggressive. And
you got up, and when he didn't apologise, you pushed him over.
Okay.
So Lucy got knocked up. She got up, like she kind of got hit pretty hard by this guy, and he didn't even notice. And Lucy just got enraged and turned around and shoved this guy, and he went sprawling. And he was furious. He didn't know what was going on. And Lucy was like, "You're really rude." And he was like threatening to punch Lucy's head in.
I remember him holding his
full on.
fist up, and I remember my brain doing the quick analysis of going, he can't punch me because so many people are watching, or if he does, it probably won't be hard. So because so many people are watching, but I basically assessed he probably wouldn't. And I remember now. This is so. It's like so long ago. So it feels that is who I am. But I was like, insane. I wouldn't do it now.
It was crazy.
He had his fist up, and I just put the loser hand up to his face.
Well done.
And
bless you, loser.
Yeah, and his friends pulled him away.
Yeah.
And Eddie was watching the whole thing.
He's like, "I'm gonna kill you, bitch! I'm gonna kill you!" I was like, "Oh my god, this is like properly out of control." He got dragged out, and then Lucy went off about it. She left. She gave me a business card, and then she left. And then he was there, kind of like on the other side of the room, pointing at me, and I was like, "I'm gonna get beaten up if I don't get out of here." So. That was pretty impressive.
I don't think that we stayed for ages after that, and he was just doing that eye thing at me.
Yeah.
But no, I remember Eddie freaking out, like looking at me, going, "Oh my god!" And then I just turned to him and did this, like whatever, shrugged it off, didn't care. And I remember you being quite impressed.
Yeah, I was very impressed
by that.
Here's a couple for you. We love these two, Nakkiah Louie and Gabe Dowrick, their love story.
Let's start from the beginning. How did you guys meet?
Well, we met on Black Comedy season 1 where Gabe was editing and I was acting and writing. But Gabe's mum sent me kept tweeting me on Twitter. And Gabe came in one day and said...
I mentioned to my mum one day, I met you and so on. And I thought you were very nice. And she was like, oh, okay. And then she got onto Twitter and started,
And Gabe was like, "Mum, stop tweeting my colleagues." Yeah. And then we started DMing. So her plan worked.
Yeah. I mentioned Nakkiah, and my mum thought that was some sort of prompt to, somehow, I don't know, play weird, uncomfortable matchmaker on Twitter.
Okay, this is the craziest meeting story. We've interviewed a few couples, but never have we had the mum tweeting to draw the two couples together. I love it. Oh, yeah, I think that's amazing. If I could tweet a boyfriend into my daughter's life, I would 100% do it.
Would you?
Absolutely. She's 25. She needs a nice fellow.
Oh, shit, that is true. Gabe, did your mum usually infiltrate relationships like that in the past?
No. This was definitely the first, and I guess fortuitously so.
And the last.
And the last. That's right. That's right.
Thank heavens for that.
Well, they do say mothers know.
Yeah. So. Your mum's clearly got good choice.
Emmy and Sabir Samtani, they've got a great story. Check this out.
Emmy.
Yes.
There is a story behind you guys getting together. We're going to get into kindred. We're going to get into all your work and all the great things you're doing in kids and your relationship. And
there's lots to talk about.
Yeah, there's lots to talk about. But just give us it's a terrific story.
Oh, I don't know.
The European part of it. And
I like to tell the
no holes barred story.
But she's got a...
Whatever you want to share, we'll be happy to hear. We love...
This bathroom knows no judgment.
Oh, good.
Or time constraint.
Yeah. Well, no, everyone always says that nothing good ever happens after 3 a.m, but we certainly thought that that's not the case at all because we met in a Sydney nightclub and it was a terrible hour of the morning where we should probably be at home, and there we were. And so we met each other. We literally it sounds a bit cheesy, but we fell in love on the spot, I think, because within 2 months we're travelling Europe together.
Oh, wow.
So my whole family back home were a little bit confused about, oh my gosh, what's going on here?
Yep.
I'd previously been in a 7-year relationship. And so, I was looking to have a fun time out with the girls. And next thing I meet my partner of now, 17 years?
17 years.
How long was it from the end of the 7 years to meeting Sabir?
Oh, it was back to back almost,
Really?
which was crazy. Yeah.
I bet that partner was like, what do you what? You break up with me because you want some alone time and now you're going to meet this handsome devil?
I was very young at the time, and I think my mum was thinking the same thing. What on earth are you doing?
Yeah.
But she fell in love with him pretty much straight away. Well, in saying that, when we got back from Europe, so we travelled Europe together not long after. I think it was a 2-month gap, and then we were in each other's face night and day for I guess a good 6 to 8 weeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a good test of the relationship,
It's a
isn't
great
it? Go
test.
travelling.
Woohoo! Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't there a moment that you guys split up and you were going to... Did I read that?
Yes. You can tell the story.
Yes, that's Sabir. You went the sliding doors or the bus door or something.
Yeah, so we were traveling Europe, so we were both going to go meet our friends, or we were going to go travel with our friends, but we decided obviously to travel together, said to our friends we'd meet you there, and I think we were at the airport about to jump onto the bus to take you to the plane. And it was at the time where we were arguing, we weren't getting along. And back then there were no phones, no social, so there was no Facebook, nowhere to contact apart from Hotmail.
Yeah, we had Hotmail.
And
AOL.
AOL.
I'm still an AOL.
and I luckily, it was this second where she jumped into the bus. I wasn't going to get on. We were arguing the whole time, and for whatever reason, I jumped on. The doors shut, and it was that sliding doors moment where we were like, if I didn't jump on, we would have never spoken again, because email was the only way. We couldn't connect, and I jumped on, and then we decided to continue. Spent a bit of time in Greece, and then it just flowed from there. So it was literally a sliding doors moment where we.
So the Cupids kind of also went. Get on the bus.
Yeah.
Get on the bus.
Here's a story that we just love from David and Lisa Campbell. All right, look, we always love to start at the beginning with our couples. And the beginning is, of course, the beginning of your relationship. So how did you two meet?
All right, it's your turn.
Okay. So I am English and...
What?
Surprise.
And I used to be an actor, and I was over in Australia with a touring play.
Which was?
And
Which was
an Inspector Calls. And I did 6 weeks in Sydney, and then we did 6 weeks in Melbourne. And the people in my cast were obsessed with Kath and Kim. And when we left the airport in Melbourne to go to our accommodation, there was this big billboard saying that Magda Zabansky was in a musical in Melbourne at the time. And we were all so excited. And so some friends of mine went to see this show that Magda was in, and then muscled their way backstage by saying, we're from the National Theatre in London. We really need to meet you. And they became friends of Magda. And then I met Magda, and I got invited to a Thirsty Thursdays in a dressing room. And so I went along, and then there was this chap there.
Of course, it was my dressing room. The drinking party.
And he offered me a beer, and I said yes. And then from that moment, we haven't really been apart. And there was a moment where we thought, okay, well, I had to go back to the UK, and he obviously lived here. And then Magda was really instrumental in ensuring that we maintained our relationship, and, said that this doesn't happen all the time, and that we were made for each other. And sort of that was that.
That was it.
So we can thank Sharon. That Sharon got you guys. Yes,
absolutely, that's it.
Nice.
Did she go to the wedding? Did she go to the wedding wearing a
netball outfit?
She was my bridesmaid.
No, that's so cool. I didn't know that.
She's still very much part of our family. She's our daughter's godmother. I spoke to her 2 days ago. She's very much in our lives.
What a good lady.
Thanks for being with us today. Let's end with this one. Josh Piterman and Charlotte Black. What a beauty.
How'd you meet?
Oh,
Love this.
go.
We take turns on who tells this story.
No. Lottie tells it better than me.
So Josh contacted me on Instagram in March 2018 and said...
I was stalking her for a bit.
And was just kind of replying to stories and saying, "Oh, your accent's so cute," and all these things. And I just thought, who's this Australian
He's got that
man?
Right.
Just kind of ignored him and gave him donuts. And then we kind of stayed in touch a little bit. And then you had your album come out and it went to #1. And I thought that was amazing because I'm a musician as well. So I reached out and just said, congratulations, like what an amazing achievement. And
the first little crumb that I got.
The little crumb you got.
Right, there you go. You hung in there, Josh.
Lottie, did you know that Josh was a singer when he was reaching out to you?
No, and I knew he was cute, but I knew that he lived in Australia, but I didn't. The fact that he lived in Australia meant I was like, I'm not going there because it's the other side of the world. It's impossible.
And Josh, how did you find her on Instagram? Was it just by chance, or is that?
Yeah, what Cam said, but also I think the universe should have put it out there. Like she kept on popping up on my search in my Instagram, and I was backstage at beautiful Carole King musical at that time, and I had a few times in that show where I was just like backstage, not doing much, having a little scroll,
looking for your future wife.
Looking
as you do,
and
right?
She kept popping up, and Lottie had brought out a few singles there, and the whole theme was like of her outfits were all like very lemon, like really bright yellow. So like on your search, it's like, ping, who's this beautiful blonde? And so anyway, I just slid into the old DMs. Anyway, nothing really transpired, and then I said I'd booked a holiday to Europe, like sort of mid 18, and said, hey, do you want to catch up when I'm in London in like 5 months' time?
And I was like, wait, I don't know where I'm going to be in 5 months' time.
Or who you're going to be.
Yeah.
With, I don't even think I replied. Did I reply?
I think it was more donuts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shame.
What's a donut?
Donut, just zero, just nothing.
Oh, okay.
I feel bad.
Right, duck it.
Then you reached out. So I was in New York, and you were in New York at the same time as me for one day, and we didn't know, which is quite cool. And you reached out and said, I'm starting a podcast. Can I interview you for this podcast?
And was that real?
Oh, it was a pilot.
A line.
Josh, you had all the moves. You were like, okay.
And it was an on-location podcast, which is like, how's that going to land with all the sound dramas? But
right,
we gave it a try. Anyway, we met at Regent's Park in London.
Yeah, and I almost cancelled because I think I was hungover.
She was hung.
I was hungover. But I was like, no, I must show up. This guy's made all this effort for all this time. I must show up. But I didn't expect to fancy him when I saw him.
And then she came out of Regent Station. I was standing there, and you could hear like Roy Orbison, boom, 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 doo, doo, doo. Like it was all happening. Just walking in a full black, and then we walked through the park.
Well, I didn't reverse it a bit because I didn't know what to do with myself because I didn't expect to be so attracted to you, and I didn't expect you to be this tall. I knew you were attractive, but I hadn't put it together. And I thought that I wasn't prepared for him. And I just lost my cool. Like I was like mumble jumbling all my words.
Dude.
And we were ordering coffees, and I didn't drink coffee, so I was a 5-year-old and ordered a hot chocolate with marshmallows and whipped cream.
But tiny marshmallows, and she asked for extra ones, and I reckon she had like 20 marshmallows in the hot chocolate.
And I was like, this is me.
Okay, cool. So yeah, it's going to be a podcast on the side of like diabetes here. Like she's like, it was like so. Okay.
I know, it's amazing. And then
So now she's on a massive sugar rush, hungover.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with myself.
And then the podcast like just kept on going, and it went beyond like the interview section. Then we went to the Tube together, and I was like, hey, do you want to like grab a coffee? And
I think I said.
Oh, did you?
I think it was me that said, do you want to grab a coffee? But it was 6 p.m. and there was no coffee anywhere at 6 p.m. really. So we went for a drink instead.
Yeah, and then I kissed her outside Piccadilly Station, right in the heart of West End vibes.
Yeah.
And then we just spent the next couple of days, like, you know, just together, completely together. And then I had to go back to Australia, and then it was FaceTimes twice a day. And then, I went over, she came here, it was like all of that. And then Phantom was like this beautiful gift that enabled me to move over to London. Then we moved in together, and then...
And there they are. What fabulous love stories they are. I can't choose a favourite one. Have you got one that you love?
Narelda and Stevie, the bar story.
Yeah.
That's a winner.
It's a winner. Because we were saying it's the old-fashioned way to meet someone, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Eddie Perfect and Lucy, again, in a bar. That was fun.
That's true. A very drunken bar. But then we've got Josh Piterman and Charlotte Black, who met from across the other side of the world through Instagram. Social media. It's incredible. You never know how you're going to meet.
I know. And
great.
It's amazing how that social media has opened that door as well.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, for sure.
It can be used for positive ways.
Absolutely. We'd love to know what your favourite love story was from the listen. You can let us know on my Instagram, which is Daddo.
And I'm at Cameron Daddo. And we've got a Facebook page too. That's Separate Bathrooms on Facebook. We'd love to hear from you.